Hello makers, in this project I'm going to show you how to make an oil infusion. Infusions are really a great way to use plant-based ingredients, sometimes even ingredients that otherwise would go to waste, and turn them into a new product that is good for your skin. In this recipe we will make an oil infusion using lavender flowers, but you can use any other flowers as long as it's suitable to use on your skin. I got these flowers from a garden in Capri, Italy, where I go to since I was a child. The smell is absolutely incredible. To make your oil infusion, the first step is always to ensure that your flowers are dry. This is important as it will ensure that the infusion doesn't get moldy, which could happen if your flowers are fresh. In case of a lavender plant, I will go ahead and remove the little buds from the stem. This is just so it's a little easier to fit the lavender into the jar. Make sure not to fill the jar all the way to the top with the flowers or herbs, so there is a little bit of room to fill up the jar with the oil and to actually close the lid. At this point, all is left to do is to choose the oil you want to use to infuse the flowers or herbs in. You can technically use any oil, but my favorite oils to infuse are olive oil, sweet almond oil, and sunflower oil because they are rich in oleic acid, so they're perfect for dry and sensitive skin. In this recipe I've used sweet almond oil. Once you've filled the jar all the way to the top, close the lid and leave the jar in a dark space where it will infuse for at least 2 weeks. If you can wait, it's best to leave it for 4 to 6 weeks. The longer you let the herbs or flowers infuse, the stronger the infusion will be. But we should try not to go over the shelf life of the oil to avoid the infusion from going rancid. To extend the shelf life of your infused oil, I recommend to add vitamin E at 1% of your recipe. Also, if you don't want to wait, you can infuse your herbs or flowers by placing them in a bain-marie inside a heat-resistant jar. The heat will allow the flowers or herbs to release their goodness. 4 weeks have passed. Let me show you how to strain your infusion. Open the lid and give the flowers or herbs a little shake, just so to release any final herbal goodness inside the oil. Prepare a new jar where to pour the infusion in. To filter the infusion out, you can use a cheesecloth. However, if you don't have it, you could simply use a pair of stockings. Just make sure they're clean, or a very fine muslin cloth. Place the cloth around the jar. If it's too loose, you can secure it with a rubber band. Carefully pour the infused oil in. The herbs or flowers you have infused would have likely soaked in a big percentage of the oil, so make sure to squeeze any leftover out, like so. Also try to get any herbs or flowers out if they remain into the infused oil, because they could create some mold and reduce the shelf life of your infusion. Close the lid and make sure to label your jar with name, the date of the infusion, and the expiry date. This is 6 months from the date you made it, or 1 year if you used vitamin E. I hope you enjoyed the project. Now I'd like to hear from you. What oil infusion have you decided to prepare?